What's up, Multiverse? Dr. Dave here. Welcome to the Geek Lounge. So my brother and I have undertaken a mission to clean out our loft because we have tons and tons of, for lack of a better word, crap up there. And next to that crap is a lot of goodness because we have a lot of our collectibles stored up there. And I swear to you guys, between my brother and I, we probably have only shown you like 50, maybe even 40% of our combined collection. You know, we featured a lot of my Funko Pops here on the channel, a lot of signed ones. We've done a little bit of Lego. We've got tons of Lego there in the loft. A lot of it sadly unbuilt. My brother's lightsaber helmet collection is insane. We've got tons of Hot Toys up there, just stuff we've never featured on the channel before. But it's a bit of a chore to get to it. You know, some stuff is like buried. Like I'll have an idea for a video, you know, do some really cool content. But then I'm like, ugh, I don't want to spend 30 to 40 minutes sifting through 30 or 40 boxes just to find this literally one item, you know, it's getting super duper annoying. Though we are slowly but surely working through it, and 2026 we should feature a lot more of our collection on the channel. Definitely no excuse. You know, all that crap I mentioned is finally going next week. I cannot wait. It's probably taking up like a quarter of the space in the loft, and we have a pretty big loft, to be honest. So then we can start shifting things around and no doubt find stuff that we haven't seen for years. Speaking of which, guys, I have been through a few boxes and I actually did find my Pokemon cards from like 25, 26 years ago, and I actually thought I'd share them with you guys today. I thought it would make for a really cool video, so let me direct your attention down here. So first and foremost, please do excuse this crusty ass folder ring binder. This thing is probably more than 30 years old, to be honest. I think I used it in a school project when I was like 7, 8 years old. I think it was like a science project, and yeah, it just ended up housing my Pokemon cards. So let me go through this real quick and then we'll take closer looks at some of the cards later. And I know ring binders are like the death of Pokemon cards. I will definitely be moving these. You know, I've got penny sleeves, we got top loaders. So these will be housed in a much better condition, let's say, going forward. But as you guys can see, I did collect like the original generation. I mean, that's my generation, Gen 1, excuse me. And yeah, I think I have all 151 Pokemon, at least variants of them, and then some odd stuff down here at the back, which I don't know how I got any of it, because some of it is like Japanese, and it's like, how do we get Japanese stuff like 25, 26 years ago? But yeah, we won't go through every single card because we'd be here forever. But I figured we'd check out some of the maybe kind of cooler ones. So we do have the original 3 starter Pokemon, obviously Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and then their evolutions, right? So here is Venusaur. A lot of people are saying, you know, you should get these graded, because I don't know how the condition is. I mean, sometimes it's hard for the camera to pick it up, because looking at it here on my camera now, it almost looks minty mint, but if I get it close up and whatnot, I can see like the odd scratches. There's even like a little dent there, but I don't think I can quite, maybe there, can't quite capture it in the light, and you guys can see anyway around the borders. But it's like 25, 26 years old, right? So, and I kind of played with these, took them to school. It's always funny, right? Because the you see nowadays, like I don't really collect cards so much nowadays. It's just kind of too much hassle, and you see all like the fights and the terrible things going on, and it always kind of makes me laugh because when I think back to school, there were a lot of fights and stuff in school, at least my school that I went to, as it related to like Pokemon cards, to the point they kind of banned them in school. And I'm kind of thinking now it's probably people of my generation who are like still fighting for these pieces of card, right? It's just kind of crazy funny to think of. And let's have a quick look at this Charizard one then. I know this was like the chase card. Unfortunately, none of these though are like the shadow border. I think that's what it's called, right? I've got a few first editions in here, but I don't think anything too crazy. But yeah, that's the Charizard, guys. As I said, it was like the chase card. I don't know if you can tell. There's still like the odd scratches here and there on it. I mean, it's not too bad. Yeah, grading, like I've always thought, like, I've always been 50-50 with grading. Like, to me, it seems like a little bit of a con, but at the same time, there's a market for it, right? So, and people are paying, you know, really high fees to get really good kind of graded cards. So I kind of get it at the same time, but I'm just not really sure. But yeah, the Charizard, as I said, this was like the chase card back in the day in school. I remember Like, we had a store, I think it's still there in Richmond, or it used to be. Well, it was called They Walk Among Us. If anyone in the UK, so I'm not even got that on camera, have I? Anyone in the UK who used to kind of go around the Richmond area like 25 years ago, I think they may, I don't know if they're in business anymore. I think they became Ace Comics maybe. But They Walk Among Us, like, I used to go to that shop with my friends every weekend. We'd meet tons of people trading cards. It was awesome. And they used to sell singles back in the day. And I feel Charizard was always around like 15 to 20 pounds, which, you know, it seems like nothing these days, especially some of the money you pay for cards. But back then it just seemed crazy to pay 15 to 20 quid for one card. But I think I ended up trading a whole bunch of things to finally get Charizard into the collection. I was kind of like the envy of all my friends at school. I was the first one to get it. Everyone wanted to see it. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, maybe it shouldn't have been like passed around, right? Because it probably didn't end up being in minty mint condition, but I think it's still pretty good, and it's pretty cool to see these older cards, in my opinion. And if it wasn't obvious to you guys, I used to store my stuff by Pokedex order rather than the card number order. People used to call me back in school like the Professor Oak, but that knowledge is way gone now, to be honest. I left Pokemon for a long time. Pokemon Go got me kind of back into it, but as I said, I've never really kind of collected the cards again too much. Like nowadays, I tend to prefer just buying stuff that's like secret art rares, full arts and things like that. Cards that kind of look cool to me rather than going for kind of boxes and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know if like what cards to kind of showcase here. So we have got some jungle stuff here, if you guys can make that out. With the Butterfree. I think there's like first editions and stuff in here as well. I just don't know if I've got any kind of first edition holos. Maybe a Machamp, if we get to that eventually. What else we got? That's like a Jungle Pidgeot, but that's not shiny. I think these are all kind of normal. I suppose Ekans is the first sort of fossil one, at least here in my kind of Pokedex order that we've got. And then Arbok there as a fossil. Actually, Pikachu. There are 3 variants of Pikachu in behind here. So let me try and carefully get all those out. So that was like the base Pikachu. You guys probably seen that tons and tons of times before. Then we had the jungle variant of Pikachu, which is fairly cool. And then I don't know if I have all of them, but these were the promos for that first Pokemon movie. You guys can kind of make out that hollow print there. And there is the kind of like promo star right there. But yeah, these were for the first movie with Mewtwo and Mew. I can't remember, were they bought like with McDonald's or Burger King, or I can't even remember where I got them from, to be honest. But I think I do have the majority of them, if not all of them, in this collection. Because there's, who is there? Electabuzz, Mewtwo, there's a Dragonite, is that it? Was there just 4? Maybe there were others, I can't remember. But Raichu Holo there, I think Raichu was always kind of one of my more favoured Pokemon, but yeah, not, again, Shadowless, not first edition. Would have been nice to have kind of more of those. It's not something I really... Was it really known even back then? Do you know what I mean? So, have we got anything else interesting here? Well, here's a like first edition Jungle Nidoran. So, that's one of the... or is the first edition we have here so far as we're going through the binder. But yeah, again, non-holo, and that's obviously like the first instance, or like the starter evolution, if you guys know what I mean. What was this Clefable here? Was this like base 2 or something, right? Is that what these were all about? You know, I really should do my homework and stuff and kind of look into things a bit more, but I think that's what that was all about, base 2. Man, yeah, I seriously need to upgrade, like, even taking stuff from, like, the back. It's not, like, got its own pocket here, which just seems so crazy, so foreign to me. What else we got here? Yeah, Ninetales, pretty cool holo, I suppose. A few more jungle stuff there for the Oddish Gloom Vileplume, Fossil Zubat Golbat. That's jungle. Actually, there is a first edition Jigglypuff jungle there. But yeah, again, I don't really think these are worth super duper much, but I don't know. I've never, as I said, done too much research. And I'm not really looking to sell, if I'm honest. These are like great things really from my childhood. What we've got there, so that's actually got a trio of sort of first editions, but nothing holo, unfortunately. So let's see here. So yeah, we got a first edition Jungle Paris there, first edition Jungle Parasect, and a first edition Jungle Venonat as well. And then we got the Venomoth Jungle, but no, no first edition, typical, right? Let me actually just get these back in here. Probably annoying some proper, yeah, I've got that the right way. People who proper look after their stuff. Diglett, Doug Trio, Persian Psyduck. Got another first edition fossil Golduck right here. Fairly cool, I suppose. But yeah, got all the old school kind of window style cards, right? As I said, nowadays I kind of prefer like full art cards more than anything. Don't know if we've got anything too crazy here to sort of show off. Alakazam, I mean, I always liked Alakazam, one of my more favourites from the OG, or Gen 1, should say, of Pokemon. Pretty cool holo there. And yeah, this was actually the Machamp I was talking about. So, there he is, yeah. Not, as you can see, a little bit bent, let's say. But yeah, first edition holo Machamp. So if I'm not mistaken, this actually was available in a like starter deck, I feel. Like back in the day, the first ever kind of starter deck. And I just don't think it was rare back then. But from what I understand now, it's worth a little bit. At least, you know, I'd say I didn't do much research. I looked at like 1 or 2 websites. To me, that's not a lot of research at all. But I think I saw it in a video. Someone seemed to suggest this was worth a little bit of money, but nothing significant. But it's still cool to have at least one first edition holo. Let's get him back in there. Yeah, as I said, I need to house these much better. Get them in penny sleeves, top loader binder, all of that stuff. So I don't think we've got anything crazy here. There is a Golem fossil first edition right here, but unfortunately wasn't a holo. I don't know if there was a holo variant. I assume there was, because it's like the third evolution, right, of Geodude. Let me get that back in there. So yeah, what, Slowpoke, Slowbro, Magnemite, Magneton, always a pretty cool holo, I guess, to check out. Yeah, the yellow, the gold, everything does look pretty cool there, doesn't it? I quite like that one. Good old Magneton. Anything else too grey? We got like first editions again of Muck here. I think Muck was a holo, but yeah, first edition fossil Muck, not holo, unfortunately. And there is a Shelder. Actually, we do have Shelder and Cloyster. Their first editions. Gengar fossil non-holo. I think he was a holo. I kind of felt that I had a holo. Like sometimes there might be other cards like hiding in behind. What else we got here? Onyx, Drowsy, Hypno. We've got a first edition Krabby fossil there. If we keep kind of going through Voltorb, Electrode. Anything else too crazy? We got. We'll pull these out. Why not? I don't think these are worth. See, I've just literally cracked the thing there. We'll take them out though. Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. After Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan was pretty classic. Hitmonlee, a fossil. But yeah, I don't think these are anything too crazy, to be honest with you guys. What comes up after Coughing or Lickitung? We got Coughing, Wheezing, Rhyhorn. I think these are all standard. We got a Chansey, holo there, Kangaskhan as well. But I don't think anything here is too crazy. What else? We have Goldeen, Seeking, Staryu, Starmie. Got Mr. Mime, Scyther, Jinx. Alright, here's the Electabuzz actually. So we'll have 2 variants of Electabuzz. So that is the normal kind of base set one. And what did I do with him? There he is. That was the promo there, again with that kind of stamp from the movie. They kind of look, actually, to be fair, there is a little bit of difference there, isn't there? Less HP for the movie promo. I didn't actually notice that with Pikachu earlier, but yeah. Always cool to have these movie promos, and I think they're worth a little bit. Nothing, again, too significant from what, from my very minor research. Who else do we have here? There's a Magmar, Pinsir, Magikarp, Gyarados. I will pull Gyarados out because, you know what, he is my favourite Pokemon of all time. I just remember the game, like Magikarp, you know, you had to, he only had Splash, so you had to just keep going until you got Tackle, and then eventually evolving him into Gyarados. It was just such great memories. In fact, I'm even wearing my Pokemon Center Gyarados t-shirt right here. Not gonna lie, it's getting a little bit tight. But as always, we'll make it a New Year's resolution to drop some weight. So let's pop old Gyarados back in there. We'll have a look at Lapras. Lapras was always a really cool Pokemon. I did actually pick up Misty's Lapras when I was over in Japan back in April. I thought it was a really cool looking card. Sorry guys, just noticed the battery on my camera was dying there, so we had to have a quick change. What was I saying? Yeah, I bought the Misty's Lapras in Japan. Really cool card. This is like an OG one though, right? With the fossil symbol there. Go with my nails. So we've got Fossil Ditto, we've got Eevee Jungle, Vaporeon Jungle, Jolteon Jungle. I don't think there's anything sort of hiding in behind these. So I feel the only holo I had of all of the evolutions was the Flareon right there. So that was also Jungle. Were they, like, I also can't remember. So you had Basic, you had Jungle and Fossil. They were the only kind of things that I really remembered from back in the day. I think some of them were in Jungle, some of them were in Fossil, some of them were in Base, right? That's as far as I kind of recall and at least understand. But yeah, the Flareon one is pretty cool. What else we got here? So we got Porygon, we got this Omanyte, which is a first edition fossil one. Didn't even have it properly there on camera for you guys. Apologies for that. I got that artwork. There's something about that one. I quite like that. I don't know why. Because I wouldn't say Omanyte was one of my favourite Pokemon. Certainly not. What else we got? Amistar, Kabuto, we got Kabutops, we got an Aerodactyl non-holo. We do have the shiny Snorlax here, or holo Snorlax rather. Shiny is the different colour. You Pokemon fans know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Jungle holo Snorlax, pretty cool. Again, a little bit bent, so yeah, I do need to kind of try and correct that somehow. But for the rest, it's not horrendous. There's a little bit of dirt on there, but hey, these are 25, 26-year-old cards that were somewhat played with, passed around, traded, etc, etc. Check this one out. We do actually have a first edition Fossil Articuno. I said it like that because there was another guy, there was another store, funny story, in Richmond that was like a 2 to 3 minute walk from They Walk Among Us. I can't remember what the store was called, but there was a guy, and I can't remember his name either, but he really wanted to get into Pokemon. And my friend Alex and we actually like proposed to him, why don't we work in your store and you pay us with Pokemon cards? And he was like, sweet. And this went on for like 2 days. It was during like summer holidays. And then I think eventually the big boss was like, yeah, this is like child labor and stuff. You can't do this. But we were so happy. But yeah, he had to let us go. And we were like recommending to him that, you know, what you should pay for certain cards. And I remember he always wanted a first edition holo Fossil Articuno. That's how he said it. I think it was like Greek maybe or something. I really can't remember the dude's name or the store's name. But yeah, he paid like over the odds for someone's first edition Fossil Shiny Articuno, though if he still has it to this day, I guess he technically didn't pay over the odds. But yeah, Articuno always reminds me of that story. We were like gutted when he said he had to let us go because we didn't care. Like, to us, we were getting free cards, free packs, right? So it was like, to us, it wasn't child labor. But yeah, the other kind of legendary birds here, Zapdos, we do have the holo of, typical like first edition fossil non-holo, right? Yeah, we do have holos, but nothing too special with the other two birds. So that is Zapdos, and then we do have the Flaming Turkey, Moltres right there, fossil as well. fairly cool. And then we're kind of rounding out the rest of them here in the 151. So Dratini Dragonair, that is another promo. And yes, we do have the, well, I was going to say base set, but it's actually a fossil one here of Dragonite in behind, which is fairly cool. And then, yeah, that is one of the other movie promo cards from that very first movie. Pretty cool, kind of, sort of almost kind of cartoonish artwork, isn't it there? But yeah, pretty happy, as I said again, to have these movie promos and have kept them for all these years. I remember seeing the movie for the first time. I was kind of blown. I was such a big Pokemon fan back then. Can't claim to be now. I still love it, but I'm definitely not as big as I used to be. And then we do have Mewtwo here. And I always kept the promo ahead of the original Holo, because my one's not in good condition at all. I don't know if you guys can still make it out there on camera. I kind of feel like the camera makes it hard to like pick up all the kind of imperfections. Maybe there, if you guys can see, there's a lot of scratching going on, so it's really not in the greatest of conditions. I think I paid £1, like I had a friend, and I think he used to like steal people's cards. He was a bit of a bad boy, but he would sell them to me for like £1 or something. I was like, yeah, sweet, why not? And there is the movie promo Mewtwo, which is very, very cool, again with that stamp, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, very cool cards. And then completing the 151, we do have this Mew. Now, this does say promo. I thought this was like the movie promo, but we don't have the stamp. So, gotta be honest, I don't know what this was a promo for. But yeah, happy to have it. Happy to have the full 151. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, just some kind of random stuff. So we got this Dark Raichu here. I think this was from, was this like the original Team Rocket set? I think, right? But yeah, Dark Raichu, like, I feel I must have been getting out of the collecting game just around this time. I don't remember how I got this, to be honest. I can only think it was through trading, because then we do have a bunch of Japanese cards, and a couple of my friends have said, how on earth do you have Japanese cards from back then? Because they were no way easy to get a hold of in those days compared to how they are now. But I couldn't answer that for you. Again, I just must have traded these, thought they looked cool. So I think this is Giovanni's Persian, isn't it? And I did actually buy the from the new set, this, well, not this same card, but Giovanni's Persian. Is he looking out the window? I can't remember now. I need to go back and check out all those cards that I bought while I was over in Japan. Of course, the Pocket Monsters on the back as well. Struggling to get that back in. And then just some really, really random stuff here. We got a bunch of Japanese stuff. Is this, well, I know that's for Alligator, isn't it? Like the final evolved form of Totodile, I think. I think that's what the Gen 2 is called. Yeah, after Gen 1, I was like, didn't really know much. I did go back and play some of the older games, and then Pokemon Go really kind of helped me, but I still, like, Gen 1, I can name every Pokemon, even if it's in Japanese, but after that, I do struggle a bit. Is this, like, Meganium? Is that how you pronounce it? Like, was it Bayleaf, or... I'm trying to think. I can't remember. I think it's the same Pokemon, though, is it not? I think, because we've got, like, two up here, like, that would be the second evolved form. Is that how that works? I think. And then they've even got like white stars. So did for Alligator. These little white stars. I don't know if that made any difference. Again, I have no idea where I picked these up from. Obviously it was through trades, but I really don't remember at all. We do have this Team Rocket trainer card here, which is fairly cool. Looks a little bit like Jessie, not quite the same, but a little bit. I suppose that's a fairly cool card. What else have we got? There's like a Murkrow here. Like, I think I remember looking at this like, what on earth are these Pokemon, right? Because I didn't really know, like, I feel I hadn't even heard of any of the Gen 2 stuff, even though we saw some in the movie already. I just don't really remember hearing much about them kind of, I guess, towards the end of my school, like high school, secondary school, whatever you want to call it, and then kind of falling out of love with Pokemon. So we have Rainbow Energy here, which I guess was part of the Team Rocket set. Don't know why I kept these energy cards, maybe just because they looked or were very different, very new compared to Gen 1 stuff. Oh my goodness, I'm not doing really good at all here, am I? So that was is that Steel Energy? I think it's Steel Energy. No, or is it Dark Energy? It's one of the two, it's Steel or Dark. Yeah, Murkrow there. Kind of goes with him. And then two random ass promo cards that, again, I have no idea where these came from. We've got both Igglybuff and Scizor. Two promos. Why are they in my my binder? Because I kind of feel these probably came a little bit later, but I got them from somewhere, somehow. Still pretty cool cards. I always quite like promo cards in general, you know, from any kind of different sets. But yeah, guys, that was my 151 binder with I say 151, like OG 151. Let's say from base, fossil, and jungle. That's why I wanted to say Generation 1 Pokemon. But yeah, I don't know if there were any other cards anyone wanted to see a bit more closer up. I guess I can do shorts and stuff if you guys wanted to see that. So, you know, just maybe drop some comments below and let me know what you want to see. Otherwise, guys, I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, please do give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button, it really does help. Make sure to check out some of our other content at the links below. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, nerds.